Apple has just sent out official invites for an Apple experience, keyword experience, as this will most likely not be an event in the traditional sense where we have a live stream going and it's at Steve Jobs Theater, etc. In fact, the experience will take place in New York, London, and Shanghai on March 4th, 2026 at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, there are quite a few devices that are in need of a refresh. And so while we don't exactly know what's going to be showcased here, we have a few good educated guesses that line up with the current rumor cycle. The announcement of several new Apple products is believed to be imminent, including the iPhone 17e, MacBook Pro with M5 Pro and M5 Max chips, 8th generation iPad Air, 12th generation iPad, and a lot more, honestly. A refreshed studio display, an all-new low-cost MacBook with the A18 chip. These are all possibilities, along with even an Apple TV, which we've been talking about for what seems like years now, and a new HomePod mini. That's a lot. We're not going to be getting all of that. At least, I guess anything is possible, but my guess is we're going to focus on a few here. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman recently wrote about the low-cost MacBook and even pointed out today when these invites went out that the invite colors match what he wrote yesterday in his latest Power On newsletter, where the colors that were tested so far included a light yellow, a light green, blue, pink, classic silver, and dark gray. Although he says unlikely that all of those will ship. Now, the palette would make the budget MacBook the most colorful laptop Apple has ever offered since the iBook G3 era in the late 90s, which in my opinion was the best. And it included tangerine, blueberry, indigo, graphite, and key lime. The colors showcased in this Apple Experience invitation do match what could be, that hint that we're all looking for. It also could be nothing. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think this is in reference, the old, colors of the Apple logo are in reference to what is rumored on these low-cost MacBooks, or do you think it's just nothing? Now, before we get on with the rest of this video, I do want to take a quick minute to talk about today's sponsor, Airalo. If you've ever landed in a new country and immediately hit that moment of panic where nothing works, no data, no maps, no messages are getting through on your phone, yeah, I think we've all been there. And so that's exactly why you should check out Airalo. Airalo is a global eSIM service that gives you instant mobile data in over 200 countries and regions without hunting for a SIM card or dealing with surprise roaming bills. You download the app, you choose your destination, you install the eSIM, and you're connected the second you land. What really sets Airalo apart from other eSIMs is the coverage and flexibility. You're not locked into one carrier or one type of plan. You can choose a local plan for a single country, a regional plan for a multi-country trip, or even a global plan if you're just hopping all around the world. And because Airalo partners directly with top local networks, you're getting fast, reliable data instead of spotty connections that some cheaper eSIMs run into. It's also incredibly simple. You keep your regular phone number for calls and texts, and Airalo just handles the data in the background. No swapping SIMs, no reconfiguring your phone, no wasting time troubleshooting when you should be enjoying the trip. No lines, no stress, no waste, since it's 100% digital. If you want travel to feel simpler and more connected, check out Airalo in the description down below. And use our code to get a discount and try it out on your next trip. If this is the first time you're hearing about a low-cost MacBook, let me get you up to speed here, as Apple has been reportedly preparing a brand new 13-inch MacBook aimed directly at Chromebooks and entry-level Windows laptops, powered by the A18 Pro chip. Yes, that's right, an iPhone-class chip inside of a Mac. Now, before you think that sounds crazy and unrealistic, the A18 performs roughly in line with the M1 in multi-core performance and actually beats it in graphics. So for students, casual users, businesses, web browsing people, document work, even light editors out there, this is definitely going to be more than capable. The trade-offs are kind of important here. If you're a power user, you're probably not going to want this. There's no Thunderbolt support, likely standard USB-C ports, lower-end LCD panel instead of mini LED, and just kind of a basic overall configuration. But again, the pricing is rumored to be between $699 and $899. And if Apple actually hits $699, that's a major move in those lower budget categories. That suddenly makes macOS more accessible to an entirely new audience, including schools and first-time laptop buyers, or families who just want something reliable and easy to use and not something super expensive. The trade-offs, in my opinion, just aren't that bad for a device in that market. If you want something more flashy and more powerful, then perhaps you should look into the latest MacBook Pros with new M5 Pro and M5 Max chips that are also rumored to be imminent. So Apple has already updated the base 14-inch MacBook Pro with the standard M5 chip late last year. That was phase 1. Now, phase 2 appears to be bringing the M5 Pro and M5 Max into that new generation. Inventory is reportedly thinning at retailers of the M4 Pro and M4 Max, which is usually one of the clearest signals that new models are in fact imminent. And these updated 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro models would keep the current chassis and design. This is just expected to be a silicon upgrade year and not a redesign year, or at least not right now, but maybe later in the year. We'll save that for a different video. The M5 series is built on TSMC's third generation 3nm process, which means improved efficiency and modest but meaningful performance gains. Based on early benchmarks from the base M5 chip, we're looking at roughly a 10 to 15% faster CPU and GPU performance compared to the output of the M4 Max and M4 Pro models. So for those variants, that means likely more CPU and GPU cores, higher memory bandwidth, faster SSD performance, better sustained performance under heavier workloads. So again, this would mean your heavy video editors, code compilers. If you're rendering 3D projects, you're running multiple demanding apps, these chips are what you would want. Pricing is expected to remain consistent. Apple shouldn't be shaking things up, so we're thinking around $1999 for the 14-inch M5 Pro, $2399 for the 16-inch model, moving into $3199 and $3499 for the 14 and 16-inch Max configurations, respectively. The last device that's rumored to be on the horizon is the one that I think is also the most likely, which is a brand new iPhone 17e. A report from last week actually stated that Apple does plan to announce the 17e on Thursday, February 19th, according to Macwell, which is the German equivalent of Macworld. The report said that the iPhone 17e will be announced in a press release on Apple's newsroom website. And given what we know about the experience taking place on the 4th, I'm starting to think that that's not going to happen. But it is possible that all of these devices that I talked about are going to be released maybe this week via a press release, and then the experience is more of a hands-on before it becomes available to the general public. Or maybe the timing of the report is just a touch off, and we'll most likely get announcements maybe the first week of March or the last week of February, and then we get that experience. But either way, if a new iPhone 17e is on the horizon, here's what we can expect. The 17e will just be a spec bump successor to the new 16e that was announced last year. Rumors claim the device will have 4 key upgrades over the iPhone 16e, including MagSafe, an A19 chip instead of A18, Apple's second generation C1X modem instead of the C1 modem, and Apple's new N1 chip for the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Thread compatibility. Now again, last year, if you don't know, the 16e was introduced, kind of a successor to the SE, puts it in line with the current model and gives it that upgrade without breaking the bank. Apple announced this model on Wednesday, February 19th of last year, and so this would kind of put it as a 1 year later. However, again, given everything that we just talked about, I don't know if that's likely, but again, anything is possible. No other major changes have been rumored, so the iPhone 17e's overall design and other specs should be similar to the 16e, which has the 6.1-inch OLED display, a 48-megapixel rear camera. In the US, we should expect the same $599 starting price tag as the iPhone 16e, and this is all according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman. So that's what we can expect to see at this event in just a few weeks. Now, there are other devices, as I mentioned earlier, that are in line for an update. We have an iPad Air that could be updated, 12th generation iPad, Apple TV that we've been talking about for forever, HomePod Mini, and those new studio displays. But I'm staying strong here in that we see kind of the iPhone 17e low-cost MacBook event. But of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What are you thinking is going to be updated? What are you hoping for? And are you planning to buy anything? Let me know in those comments down below. And be sure to subscribe because we'll be coming at you from that event with all of the devices and hands-on experience that we can. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss those videos. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.